Have you ever been called a loner or thought that you were a loner? I mean, literally. Maybe you spend almost all of your time alone. Maybe you like it that way. Maybe you tell yourself that you don't really like people, which, makes it or makes you think that it makes it easier. Or maybe you don't like it that way. Perhaps you've been hurt by others or betrayed and find it hard to trust others, so you keep to yourself. Whatever the reason, I'd like to let you in on a little known fact. Our nervous systems need connection. It's not just our mind or our hearts. It's not just about psychology. We were created to be social creatures, and no matter how introverted you are or how avoidant you still need relationship with others on some level. That's why adolescence can be so difficult for some people because we're trying to form our identity in relationship with others. We're trying to figure out who we are, where we end and other people begin. We have five senses, right? Sight, sound, taste, smell, and touch. Most of us as adults use our eyes as our first sense in relationship with others. We perceive visually whether or not someone's attractive, right? But when we're first born, our vision is blurry and limited in terms of color perception and depth. As a newborn, our most developed and intense sense is touch. We're sensitive to touch, temperature, and pain. We need to be touched and held. That's how we feel safe, nurtured, and how we connect. As we grow, we still need that connection. So we need to be around other people. Of course, if you're on the autism spectrum, you might find this sensory stimulation to be way too much. But generally, it is our go to for connection. You know, I was watching an episode of the History Channel's Alone in Africa the other day. One of the contestants made this comment that her experience on the show made her realize that though she spends inordinate amounts of time alone when she's in her regular life, and even though she's enjoyed and benefited from her time being alone in Africa, it made her realize how much she yearned for the touch of another human being, that she really wanted a hug. That one statement I thought was so deep. I don't know, maybe that's cheesy, but I thought so. Anyhow, even though she hadn't reached the point yet where she was ready to tap out, she was going to commit to being around people more when she got home. So, self imposed, kind of forced aloneness made her see the importance of human connectedness. So, she got it. We feed off of other human beings. We need others. I mean, my goodness, if we see someone else yawn, our brain senses that and we mirror that action. We are meant to be together. We're not meant to be alone. As a psychotherapist, I wonder then, why would some of us purposely choose to be alone? Well, I'll tell you, I really got like a frog in my throat today. It's a little annoying, and I'm trying my best to be here with you guys. So why would we choose to be alone? Well, some people have insecure attachment, called an avoidant attachment style, which is a pattern where a person feels uncomfortable with closeness and intimacy in relationships. So they keep to themselves. They keep themselves distant at an emotional perspective. This comes from how the person was raised. The person likely was abused or neglected in some way as a child. Some people have avoidant personality disorder, which is a mental health condition characterized by a pervasive pattern of social inhibition, feelings of inadequacy, and hypersensitivity to negative evaluation. These people long for connection, but they fear rejection or criticism. Again, this is caused by childhood issues in their upbringing, although it can't be diagnosed until adulthood. Uh, Two other disorders that I suppose I that I should mention here are schizoid personality disorder and schizotypal personality disorder. Schizoid is about having a pervasive pattern of detachment from social relationships and a restrictive range of emotional expression in interpersonal settings. Schizotypal is a pervasive pattern of social and interpersonal deficits marked by an acute discomfort with and reduced capacity for close relationships. Again, these are assumed to be caused mainly by adverse childhood experiences and environmental factors. And like I said before, some people learn to be avoidant through experiences of betrayal, abandonment, or rejection, regardless of their age. And the thought of putting themselves out there to initiate or build relationships is just too scary because they don't want to be hurt again and they don't trust others. They don't trust that others won't hurt them. They're just not willing to take the risk. And again, if you're naturally an introvert and you've experienced any of these things that I've talked about, it just ups the ante and makes it even more difficult to put yourself out there and to do something that's uncomfortable. But I want to emphasize um, it's important to really push yourself to be uncomfortable, regardless of whether you have an actual diagnosable disorder or your environment has just pushed you in the direction of being alone. Just for the record, I'm a pretty extreme introvert, although I've learned over the years how to become an extrovert, or at least behave with extroverted traits, because I needed to in order to get to where I wanted to be in life. But to be honest, I can get really overwhelmed by being around a lot of people, or even by interacting with a lot of people. And then I have to go retreat into my cave and re energize. I know that seems odd, given the fact that I'm a psychotherapist and I make my living talking to people. It's also weird that I do these videos, but believe me, it wasn't easy when I first started. I just kept plugging away, and it gets better and better all the time. So, okay, enough about me. In any event, if you find yourself living alone a lot, I encourage you to face what's uncomfortable. Push through it. Take action. Take risks. What's the worst that could happen? When you figure that out, move forward anyhow. Your life will ultimately be more meaningful and fulfilled. Believe me. Well, I hope that this has been beneficial to you. I hope that you learned something from this and that you can share what you learn with others. Thank you so much for being here and watching. Um, I hope that you have an awesome day. Thanks. Bye bye.